Markdown inline formatting. And this is what most people think about when they pick up Markdown. You may have figured out, in fact, most people's first exposure, particularly if you're watching me on YouTube or Twitch, has been using Markdown to create italics or bold in Discord or Slack or something like that. And that use of markup, which is Markdown, not always, is probably the most common use of it. Now, I did this kind of backwards. We did headings and blocks first, and then we did what most people will know, this inline formatting sort of last. But order doesn't really matter. Let's get into it. So, how do you make a bold thing? How do you make something bold? And this is one of those areas where there's much disagreement. Actually, I don't know if a disagreement is the right word. So let's do this. This one right here, this thing with blocks, MD blocks, is its own document. I tried to keep it separate on purpose. Let's go ahead and make a new one for that. You don't have to do this, but you can do this your own way. We're gonna make a new file, and this one we're gonna call MD inline. And inline is the right name here. .md. Go ahead and commit the changes so we get a new file. All right, so let's actually do this. Let's click on edit over here, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. All right, so this is pretty darn easy. So a single star asterisk for bold. I'm sorry, for italic. Is it bold or italic? It's actually italic. Now this actually, you know what's funny? I'm just realizing this is a little bit different. So, okay, let me. I'll tell you the way that I would do it, and then you can decide. I'm just going to show you. Double star for bold. We're going to get some disagreement here, and I want to have a nice, happy debate about this with my community. Of course, you're doing Markdown. LaTeX, you can do math. Yeah. Let's talk about that later, guys. We're just talking about italics and inline stuff right now. Let's talk about that other stuff later. It's good stuff to talk about, though. So 3, if you don't remember anything, 3 for bold / italic. And so if you don't remember anything else, you can remember this, and you can just change the number of stars. Leave it. It's extremely problematic, though. So for example, Slack uses underscore for italic. Slack uses underscore for italic. Right? In fact, you can't use a single star. Slack uses bold. Slack uses a single star. Slack uses a single star for bold. I don't know why they did that, but unlike Markdown, I don't know why they did that. It makes me. Why did they have to divert from the standard? I mean, really? Did they really have to do that? But as you can see, it's getting previewed here kind of sort of for you. But I mean, if you want to sort of teach your fingers to do the same thing, I would stick with underscore for italic. And I would stick with a single star. I would do double star for bold. And then when you're in Slack, just remember to only put 1. It's annoying. I know it's annoying, right? For many years, when I taught this to people at SkillStack, I said just vary the number of stars, right? 1, 2, and 3. That is kind of easy to remember. This is also another reason that don't mix up your bulleted lists. So this is another gotcha, right? you know, this is a list item, and this is another reason probably to use dashes for that kind of thing. Let's go look at this one. As you can see that it didn't make it. It made it. It's like waiting around for a thing. If I put it there, you know, so just know that it's probably easier to use dashes for your bulleted list items. And we talked about that because don't mix up. Let's see, you could say don't, and then you can make this italic like this. Markdown, GitHub Flavor Markdown has prevented the use of underscores in identifiers because underscore is taken for other things. Underscore is kind of problematic for that reason. So I tend to not use it, but that's one of the things you can do. So anyway, that's kind of the major ones. And then you have the last inline formatter. It's called verbatim or code. This is preformatted. Or mono or code, depending on what you want to call it. It's up to you, but you can see it. It already shows you kind of in the preview. You can sometimes mix them. But I'm going to say right here, avoid mixing formats whenever possible, since not all renderers support it. Support mixing. What do I mean by that? So like this. I am italic, and you could say I am really italic, right? And maybe put an exclamation point on there. And you see that it didn't work. That's wrong, right? That is not supported by GitHub. It's just one of the many places. So strictly speaking, this right here should have been syntaxed as bold italic. But it turned out not to do that. Colors are a formatting thing, and the formatting that does exist in Pandoc and Markdown is meant to be semantic formatting, and we're going to get into that when we get into the HTML5 specification. The B and the I, bold and italic, are still valid HTML5 because of semantic use of bold and italic, not necessarily for formatting. And so, but it's fair to say that bold and italic in Markdown are strictly speaking for formatting. Now, I personally have added semantic meaning to my version of Markdown, so that if I use bold for something, it's because it's a term, and I want to look up those terms by searching for anything that's bold in my code base. That is one of the advantages of using semantic Markdown, but that's up to you, and that's not quite out of scope here. So this is just an example of why mixing formatting doesn't work. That is it, my friends. That is all there is to formatting. There is really not much more to formatting. There are some extensions to formatting. That is basic Markdown formatting. There are other inline elements for inline formatting. People ask all the time, well, what about footnotes? What about supercase and all of that? We can do those, but they are not part of the standard. So you will not, hey Chaotic, you will not necessarily get them all the time. Let me give you an example of one of them that I don't even know if it's supported. Other extensions definitely exist, but they are extensions. And I want to make sure it's emphasized extension here. I want this to be italic. See, that's going to be italic. So one of the extensions is here we can put one like that, and oh wait, it doesn't support it. That's interesting. I wonder if that's if I did it wrong. I think it has to be a tag, right? I think this is it. I think this is it. Nope, that's not it. I don't know how to do superscript. I know Pandoc supports it, but I guess this one doesn't. So this is not a good one to do. Let's just leave it at that. If you want to know the extensions, look them up for your thing. The only thing you can reliably use in Markdown for inline formatting is bold, bold italic, bold italic, and preformatted. That's it. There's nothing else. That's where we're gonna end the video. There are a lot of other, we're gonna do links next, okay? But that's all. That's all. I don't anything else beyond that is not covered by anything close to the standard specification. So I'm gonna just end there. It's really hard, but I'm just gonna tell you to end. There's been a lot of other things invented, but stay with that and you'll be good. Okay.